NBA DFS show with John Impemba and James Grande.
What is going on, FA Nation? John Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS Game Day preview show. It is the last show before Thanksgiving. No show on Thursday. We will have a preview show and everything ready to go back again for Friday, but we are here looking at the Wednesday 11-game main slate, full slate here on Wednesday. James, how we feeling, man?
John, you know what I'm thankful for?
Kyle Kuzma?
Definitely not thankful for Kyle Kuzma.
Okay. Bobby Portis?
Definitely not thankful for Bobby Portis.
Okay.
I'm thankful for the family with a big capital FA. That's what I'm thankful for. And I'm thankful for everyone who tunes into the show each and every day, consumes our content, consumes John's lack of Franz Wagnering, and everything in between. So we appreciate you. I appreciate you. And I'm sure I speak for John as well. And we are thankful for you guys who again, tune in every day and support the show. And if you can support the show one more time before the break, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It goes a long way for us.
Yep. We 1000% would not do this every single day if you guys weren't watching. So we are doing this for all of you. As much as James and I love talking about basketball, we talk about basketball off camera all the time as well. So we bring it to the forefront because you guys show up and support us each and every day. So definitely appreciate all of that. As James says, hit that like, that share, that subscribe button. If you want to become a member of the Fantasy Alarm family, it is Black Friday week here. We still have our Black Friday deal going on. That is $100 off the annual All Pro. That starts off with a 7-day free trial as well. So go test us out. Go to fantasyalarm.com/Black Friday. Use promo code BF24. You'll save $100 off that annual subscription. It's less than $16 a month for the year. That gets you access to everything on site, all sports, all products, all benefits, including our premium Discord. And like I said, it runs all the way through next year, which means next Black Friday week, hey, we'll probably have another deal for you guys to take advantage of. I also want to say one more thing before we get the show going here, James. It is Thanksgiving, so we might as well throw a little spin here. And I want you guys to put in the comment section as well, what is your favorite Thanksgiving side dish, James?
Favorite Thanksgiving side dish. So this is a recent thing for me.
Okay.
And I have recently, in my adult years, you need stuffing with your turkey on Thanksgiving. That was not me as like a youth. But it is a required side dish with the gravy on top, because obviously there has to be gravy, or else what kind of turkey are you eating? Sure. Turkey is dry as heck. So stuffing. Close second is mac and cheese, but I feel like you could just default and say mac and cheese for everything. So more traditional Thanksgiving side, I'll go with stuffing.
Definitely. I am not a huge stuffing person. That probably doesn't surprise you. Those of you who know, I am generally a very straightforward, unadventurous eater. Macaroni and cheese for sure is a GOAT side dish. But give me the mashed potatoes, man. I'll take any potato, but like a good, like garlicky whipped mashed potato, 100% in there. Get the gravy. I'm a big like turkey Thanksgiving sandwich type of guy as well. Like I'll get a nice roll. I'll layer on some mashed potatoes, some gravy, some turkey, maybe some corn, and like have a sandwich with it. I like cornbread as well. Cornbread is pretty clutch up on a Thanksgiving meal that we have around my house. I'm also some Italian blood in me here, so we have an Italian feast alongside of the turkey. So a slice of turkey, a piece of lasagna, it goes a long way. So let me know what your favorite side dish is, or even Thanksgiving food item that you prefer in the chat, and see if we can have some fun with that here today. That said, we'll now turn our attention to the NBA. 11 games here on the slate. Some pretty fun matchups. We got a handful of teams on back-to-backs. I think you said 5 teams on back-to-backs here. Did I have that correct here, James?
Every team but the Bucks. But I mean, I then again, like main slate, Heat, Washington, Chicago, Houston 4, Sacramento 5, Lakers 6, Spurs 7.
7
So
teams.
looks like 7 unless my math is off. Every team but the Milwaukee Bucks from the Tuesday slate is playing on Wednesday. We also don't have the 14-game slate that FanDuel has.
FanDuel's out there having a good old time here on Thursday on Wednesday. What day is it? Wednesday here with the full slate. So we are looking at the DraftKings slate. We'll go live at 5 p.m. Eastern time. We'll talk about FanDuel. If you guys have any questions, you can throw that in the chat as well. Let's kick it off. LaMelo Ball. The last time we did this show, you said, but John, he takes 38 shots. It's like, yeah, but like Orlando, tougher matchup, Jalen Suggs. And you're like, yeah, but he took 38 shots. I said, sure, but I don't know. Slow-paced game. Suggs gets ruled out. LaMelo goes 17 of 30. He's now taken 27, 38, and 30 in the last 3. They're home. They get Miami on a back-to-back. Who even knows who's going to play for Miami on the back-to-back for this one? They've had guys questionable and ruled out of late. He's taken 30 shots here, James. So when you're looking at your top spend-ups, you got Ball. Cade is doubtful, so not going to see him. Got Irving, Edwards, Trey, Fox, and Harden. Guys taking 30 shots. You kind of lean to those directions, right?
Yeah, and Charlotte ruled everyone out already. So it's this, they're just running it back. Everyone's out. Trey Man's out. Bridges is out. We already know Grant Williams is out. And Richards, Williams, everyone's out. It's LaMelo Ball, Brandon Miller, and friends. So he's going to take 30 shots again. He's going to likely make a lot of threes if he's going to continue to shoot the volume that he's shooting with. And you know what? I kind of like poo-pooed his peripheral stats, John. He has since responded because he has been great kind of everywhere. So if this is just who we're going to get, 10-3 is still too cheap. And we saw even with like how good Miami's. So I was watching Miami Milwaukee, and I just quick on this. Dame obviously had the massive first half, right? And was good in the second half, but they trapped him every single time he touched the ball in the second half of that game. I am wondering if the game plan is just like, all right, we saw what happened last night. Dame had 37 and 11. We are doing that to LaMelo every single time he crosses half court in any action. Like every action, they doubled and forced Dame to pass. But that's not always correlates into assists, right? That correlates into like swing. And then there's a corner 3 and your hockey assist doesn't count for points because we're not in hockey. So
we also see LaMelo going and one mixtape.
That is also true.
So, he's finding his way. Again, to the point on Orlando, like, yes, I was wrong. They only scored 84 points. He scored 44 of them. Like that game went 95-84 final. It was low scoring. It was slow. Everything that I talked about the game, correct, except for the fact that LaMelo scored half of the team's points on 17 of 30 shooting. So yeah, I am going to just say you are correct, and I will be putting him in my lineup.
Yeah,
that's not to say the other guys aren't fine. You can certainly get to any of them. Harden gets Washington at 9K. Like that feels pretty damn good. Like wouldn't mind getting to some James Harden here at $9,000.
Yeah, the only negative on the Harden thing is like there's not really. I mean, if we're gonna get full run, there's 50 in his future. Norm could be back for this game, so there's that. On the scoring front, obviously, like that would be a boost for for the Clippers, and maybe they don't rely as heavily as they have on Harden. But yeah, I mean, I like basically all like Kyrie finally did have the game. Still wasn't like ceiling, but 28 shots, second leg of a back-to-back was great. Still no Luka. I think you can definitely play Trey but like he might not even play. The Achilles thing,
Yeah.
what a weird day it was for the
They
Hawks and
fined him
Trae
for
Young.
$100,000 today. They did the team,
Yeah,
even
it's
though
not
he
fair.
is hurt. Like, I
It's
don't
not
really.
it's not fair. And there's like a bunch of videos that like date back when the original injury happened to like Quinn Snyder talking about it, Trae Young talking about it. It's something that like comes and goes.
Yeah,
And one of the beat writers I saw had posted like it didn't do the Hawks any good that they didn't put him on the injury report the next game.
true.
But it's something that they have all talked about, that it's like a persistent injury that just
Yeah,
kind of like comes and goes. So weird day naturally pops up in the injury report the following day. That I think that's hilarious. Tough spot, but if they're going to stay competitive, obviously he has a say in it. De'Aaron Fox was in the torture chamber, John. That is a tough place for
yeah.
many to go. He was very frustrated in that game.
Played
There
40
is
minutes at a 30-point loss.
there is no DeMar DeRozan, by the way.
Yes. Yeah.
DeRozan is out in this game. If there's one thing we know about the Kings, I mean, look at the minutes for De'Aaron Fox, 39, 43, 38, 40. He is kind of, I think, in the player pool by default because there's 40 minutes and no DeMar DeRozan here.
Yeah. The next couple guys here, Scotty Barnes, you were all in on Scotty Barnes the other day. 31, 14, 7. We talked about it. Like, he is their de facto point guard. He is going to be their leading assist guy probably this season until Quickly gets back. And then even then, he still might be the point guard on this team here. Elite spot for him going up against Pelicans here. He is an elite play. Scotty Barnes will be the face of this league, quote unquote, according to this coach here. Halliburton has found the stroke. 4 of 10, 5 of 11, 9 of 18 the last 3 games from 3, 34, 44, 68. We've said it 1,000 times. If this guy just hits his shots, look out. And here we have it. A guy that has knocked down his shots. He has always been a better shooter than he's shown for the majority of the early part of this season here. If this is now what we're getting, him to being back to being a 40% 3-point shooter, the 8,600 is too cheap of a price tag for what Tyrese Halliburton is as a player.
I'm still not convinced that he can do it anywhere but Indiana, but we don't have to worry about it because we're in Indiana in this game.
They're home versus Portland. So
we don't have to worry about it at least for another game. I mean, dude, the road home splits are legitimately terrifying. They are terrifying. Look, that is as obscure as we would see somebody who is just absolutely horrified of going away from Indiana.
Likes his spot on the floor. Yeah.
He does not want to go on the road and hear how bad he is now, and like hear what ask for people, just random people to ask him what happened to a shot. Right? He doesn't hear that in Indiana. Everyone's like, "Oh,
I wonder if
we
like
love you,
5 years
Tyrese."
from now. I wonder if like 5 years from now we're gonna he's gonna have a little James Harden Reddit post about him where it's like Halliburton's hitting the clubs out, right? Like can't do the roads,
Specific spots he prefers.
Just like when they go out on the road, he's just out there partying, anyway, you can Google some things on Halliburton. There's some memes out there on him.
There sure are.
There sure are, right? There sure are some things on Halliburton. So maybe he goes on the road and has some fun. You got that. Murray's coming back. I'm not going to play him, but he's going to come back. 8,300 is a decent price tag, but hard to trust a guy a first time back into the lineup here. Tough spot for Maxey against Houston, but love the minutes. Yep. Love that he got up to 30. $8,100. This is a guy, no Embiid and no Paul George again. We know what he can put up for fantasy points. So $8,100 is not reflective of the player that he is. And if he's at 30 minutes now, there may not be a limit on this game for him. So I don't mind it. Again, tough spot against Houston. They're really good defensively. We know that, but still, like, Maxey's kind of interesting here.
I would say the one thing that could bode well for Maxey and McCain is that Houston played overtime on Tuesday. So, they played monster minutes. Everyone but Jalen Green. Jalen Green didn't play any minutes. They benched him, and Amen Thompson played all the minutes. But Van Vliet 45, Brooks 41, Şengün 42, Jabari Smith 38, Amen Thompson 38 minutes. Like the it's a lot of minutes to then have to you're going from Minnesota to Philly,
Yeah.
which I'm just not saying is a far flight, but like 2 road games back to back.
Yep.
This could be you're right, like a Maxey McCain spot. Just like it is tough, and Houston does have like a lot of younger players like Eason, like Jabari, like Amen Thompson. But you never know who's even going to play on the second leg of a back to back with an extra day of
I said,
rest, right
and
behind
also
that.
before the holiday, like they got maybe they're already thinking about their mashed
Right.
potatoes and macaroni and cheese, and things that they're eating
Right.
tomorrow. So, Zion would be if he was playing. So,
Oh boy, I don't co-sign that. I do not
sorry,
co-sign that.
no Zion slander on this
I
show.
do not I do not co-sign.
McCollum did come back. I listen. I said about Murray, like I don't know, first came back. McCollum got 30 minutes out of the jump in that game, so
Yep.
could get 30 minets out of DeJounte there. I'm not going to play.
I mean, Murray's a hand, right?
Yeah.
He broke his hand, so he could
right. Scotty Barnes came back with 38. He's like, my legs were good the whole time I was running.
Yeah,
that was good. Jaden Ivey, still really good. $7,500 price bump for him, though. Deservedly so. Hit the game winner against Toronto, against Memphis here. No John Morant for Memphis already in this game. Already ruled out. So you got Ivey there at $7,500. McCain up to 73. If you wanted to play him, you certainly can. You were right. You said it. Didn't have much McCain exposure there against the Clippers. You've said it pretty consistently. Like they just have a lot of dudes that can guard, and it's not a great spot for them. Got Houston. Again, tougher spot. Would you be interested in McCain this go around?
Yeah, I mean, I think the same thing applies to Tyrese Maxey or to Jared McCain as it does Tyrese Maxey. I mean, if you think that Houston comes into this game shorthanded because all the minutes they logged on Tuesday, and if you think that they're tired, then yes, I think with travel, with 40 plus minutes on 4 starters and 38 on their 6-man, then yeah, I think you can get to McCain or Maxey perfectly fine.
Suggs is off the injury report. He was also off the injury report the other day, and then he was questionable, and then he was out. If Suggs is good to go, this is a great spot. Orlando, bottom of the pace team in the league, versus Chicago, the top pace team in the league. Chicago on a back-to-back. Orlando at home, 6,500. I would love to play some Jalen Suggs at 6,500 if Jalen Suggs would let me play him at $6,500. Got to be in the lineup.
Got to be in the lineup. It is a good play. And we had seen a lull in Jalen Suggs, and it was mostly because Franz had just like taken over the show. But yeah, I mean, in the last time we saw him play full, 23, 5, 5, 2, and 2. That's like Jalen Suggs with 5 made threes. Jalen Suggs in a nutshell. So yeah, I'm perfectly fine if he does suit up.
And he had part of his insane stretch there after the Banchero, but against Chicago earlier this year, 35 minutes, 43 fantasy points there. So I like Suggs at 65 if he can find his way into that lineup. Anybody else down here for you as we work our way down? Again, a lot of these teams on back-to-backs. We got the Portland guys. Scottie Pippen, no Ja already, $5,900 for him. What are we thinking?
Yeah, I mean, Portland is only interesting if Scoot were to sit. But they are interesting if Scoot does sit because Jeremy Grant is also listed doubtful. So I'd definitely be okay going back to the well just because they had a bad game against Memphis. It doesn't necessarily, translate to this game. This is a new game. So if Scoot is ruled out, I'd be good getting to Sharp or Simons. The Pippen thing is interesting because again, like Ja is out. Yes. Also Marcus Smart's back. So what does that do to Pippen's minutes? I think they should be fine, but obviously 14 minutes is not a great look after going for 30 and 10 the night prior.
Right.
That might not matter, and they might just run Scotty. We saw this earlier in the year where even when Scotty was chalk on that night that Josh sat, and he came off the bench and he still went for 40 fantasy points. Right. So, yeah, I think Scotty's in play. I'm just not totally sold that he's going to just start. Like that's not something that I'm completely sold on. Love the Malik Monk minutes right off the bat, 26. Now no DeRozan. I don't
Mhm.
expect him to start, but I do think 5,400 is a price tag I'd be willing to pay. Um, I know you want to talk about Alfred Payton, and I
No,
understand.
now with the guards, now with the guards back. We should give him a shout though. We should give him a shout.
We
14,
should.
21, and 7. Not the play. I'm not the shout I'm about to say as an option because DeJounte Murray and CJ McCollum being back pretty much kind of ice out a lot of minutes for Alfred Payton here. He may have earned himself the backup point guard job. Like,
Yeah, at least like a longer leash on the job, right? Like
yeah,
where they're like, all right, dude, like keep
until
playing this
Alvarado
way, and
comes
you,
back.
yeah, I
You
mean, you
know,
keep playing this way, and it's your job. Yeah,
he's certainly earned himself probably getting picked up by somebody else if his 2-way or 10-day or wherever they signed him ends up
right.
expiring. I mean, you can't, 14, 7, and 21. No, only guy in the NBA to do that this year. So
I mean, there's going to come a time where a team is looking for a like secondary ball handler, right, or backup point guard. I mean, think about how long the Suns went without one last year, and how badly they regretted never like picking up a point guard.
right. Dallas situation. Obviously, we had everybody ruled out for that game. Jaden Hardy played really well. Dinwiddie played really well.
They
Do
all
we
played.
have?
They all played well. They all
Yeah.
played well.
Grimes questionable and Clay is questionable for this one. So we got to wait and see probably their statuses. But same thing then. If everybody gets ruled out again, we play them.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the one difference, like just
Icing.
right away, is Hardy's 47. I mean, not gonna say he's not gonna take 18. He took 18 shots, right? Great.
Yeah.
He also shot 44%. He's a 38% shooter on the year. So is that sustainable? I mean, we know he shoots.
Yeah, we know
Dinwiddie,
he's a shooter. We know that.
he is. Dinwiddie was like heat checking himself in the middle of that game, like hit like a step back three on the wing. I was like, is this Spencer Dinwiddie in the year 2024, about to be 2025, doing
Like,
that?
kill himself. He's got all that Bitcoin salary,
He died. I'm sure. I mean, that is. I've
Bitcoin at
seen a couple.
100K, man. He's rich.
I've seen a couple. Yeah, I've seen a couple. There was an former NFL lineman who did that.
Yeah,
Russell Okung. Russell
yeah,
Okung, right? Didn't he do
yeah,
it too?
yeah.
So like, yeah. I mean, if that same scenario plays out, then yes, then they're in play. But like, you know, I know. And the Knicks are also bottom 10 defensive team. So it's not like this is it's a good matchup for them. So yeah, I'm good with it if people sit, but it's not as surefire as it was.
Cody played the minutes. It was obviously super disappointing, but you got at least like 25 minutes out of him. So probably a spot to maybe run back with him
Yep.
there. Ellis started that game. Didn't do much, but he did start. Could no DeRozan. Maybe there's a path.
He started over Herter.
Yeah.
So like DeRozan was in that game, so he's going to start again.
Maybe a minutes bump for DeMarcus Smart, 43. If Smart, I mean, there's no Ja. If he ends up playing more minutes, did you have interest here?
I think it's hard. I think it's hard to get to. Just because he's only been back for one game, Ja or not. I don't know if the bump's gonna be quick enough.
Miles McBride played 28 minutes against Denver. The entire team played 40. So you can always take a shot at McBride. PJ didn't do much against Boston. Cole Anthony got 27 minutes.
He did. Suggs being back probably hurts it, but
shout out to the chat. We did. It was brought up. It was brought up. And he was a bucket.
Yeah. I think who was it? Cam the Man, who said something along the lines of like Cole Anthony, the best player not playing in the NBA. Is he an option? Or someone said, I think it was Cam the Man, if I remember correctly.
We were sitting there being like, where's all the Wagner points? And it's like, because Cole Anthony's taking all these shots.
I got something interesting for you, John. And I don't know what Minnesota's going to do. Obviously, Conley didn't play. He played 24 minutes. And you had talked about the DiVincenzo stuff.
Yeah.
Dude, DiVincenzo played 21 minutes.
I brought it up on the preview show or to the live show. One of the two shows that we did on Tuesday, I brought up Dillingham. They played him against Boston. He was their first round pick.
He played 24 minutes, had 12, 7, and 5.
Yeah. What did
If
NAW play?
30.
30. Okay, so it was in fact the DiVincenzo. Dude, I told you, DiVincenzo does not like being there. He's just like,
No, he is clearly not. You were spot on there. So if we're gonna get a scenario that Conley gets ruled out, could there even be a start for Dillingham here? I mean, legitimate question. I mean, even if there's not, I don't. I think it's perfectly fine to get to. So
at 3,500, yeah, I would say that he's working his way, increased minutes, 3 straight games now without Conley. Eighth overall pick this year.
yeah, he
So
was a
like,
lot of pick. Yep.
it's not like this is some like end of the first round Minnesota. No, 8th overall pick. I don't know what deal they swung to get it. It was they got him from the Spurs. So what do they send to San Antonio for to get the 8th overall pick there? That's what I want to remember. I'm trying to think of a deal that they swung.
Not anything on their current roster. I'll tell you that. So
Yeah.
it could have been like a different trade that netted him this because I'm just like
8th overall pick by the Spurs. Immediately on draft night was traded to Minnesota in exchange for a 2030 protected first round pick.
Okay, there you go.
And then an unprotected first round pick in 2031. So they dealt so Minnesota traded 2 first round picks, including an unprotected for this kid.
For Rob Dillingham. So they must have liked him quite a bit.
Yep. That's good context, right?
Yep.
So.
And now he's one of 8 players. Are you
What?
Baseball news?
Did we get Soto?
No, but we got the Dodgers making another Dodger move.
Who did they get?
Blake Snell.
Did they?
$182 million to the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Wow. Is it real? Is it a real?
Jeff Passan. It's Passan. It's confirmed. It's Passan. 5 years. Sorry for all those that don't care about baseball. Completely understand it. Really can. The Dodgers.
You know what though? The Dodgers needed pitching. Their pitching staff was
they're all hurt.
They had to go bullpen games for half the World Series. So
yes, John, I was there. Thanks.
Oh yeah. Well, Anyways, back to regularly scheduled programming here. Dillingham, 3,500, 11 game slate, looking pretty good there.
Yep.
With Conley not playing. All right, shooting guard. A lot of these guys we touched on. Donnie Mitch is 88 against Atlanta. Feels like it could be fruitful.
Yeah. Obviously, like when Mobley and Mitchell are doing things on the glass, it's hard for him to also be productive there. Just ultimate tournament play, because if he might score 35 points and then get you like 4 rebounds, and you're like, oh, I should be having a better night than this. He scored 35.
Yeah, I agree. Where are we going in the next year?
After Donnie, Ingram's questionable. Levine, another tough spot. Brandon Miller, 7,400. Even in a bad shooting night, Brandon Miller, 40 fantasy points. Definitely go back to the well with Brandon Miller. We talked McCain. Kobe White. I assume Kobe White gets the Suggs or KCP treatment. That's not entirely fun. But price decrease from the Tuesday slate. Matherin's fine at 6,700. Probably can't play Jalen Green ever again. Yeah. Especially if there's like an illness attached to him. He's just going to apparently get benched just moving forward. Keep that in mind, right? When there's an illness, Jalen Green benched, because that's 2 games in a row. Amin Thompson has just played all of the minutes. And then you get to like the value tier. Stephon Castle has been once again great on the Tuesday slate. I think 5,200 is probably too cheap for him. Connect came off the bench. Kispert stunk, and you don't want to play him against the Clippers.
Yeah.
What were the Jalen Wells minutes? His minutes completely evaporated. I kind of expected that to happen. Um,
30 minutes out of Quentin Jackson, by the way.
yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, if they're just gonna play him, there's no Ben Shepherd, right? He needs another. Rick Carlisle needs somebody to like hold on to. Please be my Ben Shepherd here, Quentin. Right?
Mhm.
So I mean, yeah, I mean it's he's probably gonna be, to your point, open up ownership tomorrow. He's probably gonna be popular. He's probably gonna
Mhm.
get some ownership. So yeah.
I would agree with you. Yeah, if Miami ends up sitting guys, I mean, there's Larson, there's Burks, right? It's a back to back. They're not. It wouldn't be the first Miami team to be sitting their veteran players here.
No, this has this
In
has
Charlotte, in Charlotte on a back to back before Thanksgiving, Buckets is already home. He's not even with the team, probably.
this has some fishy they ruled Kevin Love out at half. He's not playing.
Yeah,
Anyone over 30 is not playing in this game.
this is a Tyler Hero game. This is what we're about to get. We're gonna get a Tyler Hero game. All right, small forward. Where's Beasley? We talk about Beasley. Beasley
He's
here?
the shooting guard. We didn't talk about him. But yeah, you're right.
Where is he? He priced though. Price
56.
56. Price is up, but I still play. I'd still play versus Memphis.
Yeah, with Cade out, that's
Yeah.
the only reason I'd probably pay that.
Yep. Small forward. Franzito, $9,700. He played 40. He got 45. He was struggling for a
The
while.
end of that, the fourth quarter was all Franz. He wasn't even shooting until the fourth quarter. He didn't shoot at all. We obviously got saved by blocks and steals. Let's get out in front there.
Yeah, I got 6 stocks. So only 1 rebound in that game. Like, what are we?
Bizarre.
What are we doing there? So,
It's bizarre.
yeah, still came through at 45, and that's like a down game for him, right? So, high pace space, like everything is lining up for a big Wagner game here against them earlier this year. He only had 20. Wow, down game for him. 23 minutes though. Was this the illness game? Because he only played 11 and then 23.
This is the illness game.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Then talked Barnes already. RJ Barrett's $8,300. We know Scotty Barnes is there, so it kind of cuts in too much. I agree.
No, you're in every single scenario. You're just playing Scotty in that.
And you're playing Brandon Miller, who you talked about a shooting guard, but also just plugging in Brandon Miller at 74 and moving along. All of the Knicks played 40 minutes and a 40-point win. So OG had 40 actual. Basically, since I insulted him and he took that personally, he has been incredible. He's $7,000. Hart got subbed back into that game. He actually only played 28 minutes, but he had 5 fouls. He got subbed back into that game in like the middle of the fourth quarter when they were up 30. So, yeah, the Knicks have infinite minute ability in this matchup against Dallas.
Yes, they do. Keep it close. Just keep it close.
Just keep it there, yeah. Oubre, there was some stat about Oubre the other day. Didn't mean to rhyme there, but I'm trying to remember it. It'll come to me. Maybe I'll have it on the live show. But there's something good. There's something about like his minutes and rotations, and 31 minutes is good there.
Dude, I had him in my playbook the other day because the 26 minutes in Brooklyn is a facade. He had 4 first half fouls and then played the final like 16 minutes. So with all those guys out, I'm also Caleb Martin is questionable. So like they just have to go to Oubre for as many minutes as possible if Martin doesn't play.
Talked to Eamon already. Denny looked pretty good. They don't have center in this game.
No, Denny and Jabari Walker.
One game's out 2 weeks. Rob Wilson concussion protocol. Ayton's out.
Denny.
Go up, Reese.
Well, apparently not. Right? They're
Jabari
just
Walker.
not gonna. Jabari Walker. He played 23 minutes, and Denny. We'll see if Chris Murray plays some small ball. Chris Murray, small ball. Denny. Yeah, both those guys are fine.
If there's no Wemby on the back-to-back, you get Keldon at 5,400.
Yeah, if Keldon plays. Keldon was going into the game questionable. We're going to get Vassell back in this one.
Najee was awesome again.
Yeah, he's been great.
3 straight 20 actual games for Najee Marshall. What are we doing?
I wish they would play him more, but
Yep.
apparently this is just what the role is.
40 minutes for Jaden McDaniels in that game in overtime.
Dude, if he can stay in foul trouble, he's great, right? Like he has been way better this year, just being able to be on the floor.
Yep, agreed. Let's see. Tamani Kamara has been pretty good. He's got the minutes there. Again, they're gonna go. They have to go small for the most part. So
Yeah.
And honestly, with Miles Turner at center, like that kind of plays to small ball a little bit for Indiana. So could work there. We talked to Bogdan minutes the other day. 28 now. They're still trending up.
They are trending up. They are trending up for sure.
It's a good price at $5K for Bogdan if he's working his way towards those minutes there. Anybody else down here for you? What's Harry B doing? Can't be doing anything, right? Because all of Wemby 8-5 tonight, 2 for 5. No 3
5 and 5 and
no
8 5 5.
8-5. No 3-point attempts tonight for Harrison Barnes. Go figure.
Go figure. So like Salon was not good, but he did play 30 minutes for what that's worth. There's just no shot attempts. Playing anyone on Charlotte right now without the last name Ball or Miller is just a losing proposition.
Probably
right?
True.
Because they took 47 shots combined last game. And I think the game prior was like 60 because Melo took 38. So and it's just there's just no point in playing him. I like the minutes, but
we got 17 for Bazulis, unfortunately, there against Washington.
Yeah. There's obviously the chance that someone sits here on a back-to-back, but no one also had to play a lot. Like the Bulls' max minutes were 31, Kobe White, Zach LaVine, and Io. So
yeah. Rupert got some minutes there, 22.
Proud of him.
That's probably it, though. All right, power forward. LeBron is 10K. I assume he'll play on a back-to-back, but who knows? It's before a holiday. Maybe he is already thinking about going to Cleveland and making some turkey. Jalen Johnson, $8,400.
He's already in Cleveland. He's meeting LeBron there.
That's true.
And he might not be without Trey.
Yep.
And that last couple times that happened, they won in Boston with a Jalen Johnson triple-double. So
Yep. I was gonna say, tough matchup aside, I mean, he's done pretty well in tough matchups so far this year. So I'm not even really gonna talk it up too much. Jalen Johnson just really good at that price. Again, Buckets is there. Randall, Triple J at $7,800 and no Ja.
He's a dog, dude. He has been really good. The only thing is that we're just like capped on minutes, and I don't know why, but it's just that's the only negative thing we could say about Jaren Jackson. I mean, these fantasy points per minute are crazy. If you were to just get 35 minutes for Jaren Jackson, he's a 9K player playing like this. He is. He'd be a $9,000 player if he's getting mid-30s minutes. Maybe in a competitive setting, we get the 32, 33. That's where we've gotten 45, 46 fantasy points from this year. So if you think that this game is something that he gets extended in 20, 32, 33 minutes, then sure. No Ja, it's an elite spot.
Okay. Got Evan Mobley on the other side of that Jalen Johnson matchup. You got Siakam at 73 as well there. Murphy's questionable. It's kind of
yes. He was great again, by the way.
I mean, we knew he would be. And only went 2 of 11 from 3. So if he suits up, I'd be interested. Even though they are getting healthier, what was Ingram's status? Is he
questionable? Yeah, he's questionable.
All right, so I mean, they could finally have a semi-normal team out there if they get Murray, McCollum, Ingram, and Murphy on the floor. Yeah. Kuzma was a chalky slate breaker at 65. Not really in on that against the Clippers matchup. PJ Washington without Luka. We were kind of lamenting. He still got the double-digit rebounds. He got the 4 stocks, so he got you 40 fantasy points, but it wasn't the game we thought maybe he would have in that one.
Yeah, I mean the shot volume, no free throws, that kind of hurt.
Yeah.
He was doing the playmaking thing way more than he was taking open shots, and obviously it worked for them.
Mm-hmm.
And it worked for fantasy. I mean, 39 fantasy points at 6K is really good. Just
Yep.
when you maybe play his points and rebounds, you would just hope a few more points would be
Well, a
scored. But
few more. Yeah. You mentioned the Jaren Jackson. You got Santi Aldama here. It was, 13 and 17 and 22 minutes versus Portland. There could be more minutes for him just in general, but he's been unbelievable as a point per minute guy lately.
he has. I don't really have anything else. I don't know. He has definitely slowly lost time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's definitely at the hands of Brandon Clark, who's playing really well right now too. That would be my problem getting to Aldama. Clark starting and like basically playing more minutes than him. But yeah, I mean, if he ever gets extended, there's massive, massive appeal.
Yeah, it's been crazy good. Easton, as we talked about, Sar had a big game. Yabu's gonna play. They don't have George. They don't have Embiid. He's $5,500. Not a great matchup against Houston. Didn't do too well against the Clippers. What are your thoughts on Yabu here?
Yeah, he's in playing tournaments, but he's definitely not a priority. You can, if he catches him on this again, if he tired legs, Houston's shorthanded, whatever, then I'm not against it.
Okay. Any value options for us down here? They gave Diabate power forward eligibility. Got that at 5K now.
That is something. I mean, dude, Jabari was really good again. 38 minutes, 33 in regulation, which is great. 3 of the last 4. Like if Jalen Green is the guy that's getting cut, and if Jabari makes shots, then you see it. Tari Eason didn't really play because Jabari made shots. So Jabari Smith, if you think that he can make shots, is good. I'm gonna keep going back to the Brandon Clark stuff here. 25 minutes, 1 rebound shy of a double-double, 4 stocks in this game, 4,400 power forward center eligible. And now Brandon Clark, who wasn't playing when we thought he would play early in the year, and now randomly just getting minutes. 24 and 25, super efficient from the floor, really good rebounding. And I sent you like a couple weeks ago, if you remember, I sent you those like expected rebound stuff, and he was like dominating for this team. No Zach Edey, dude. If Zach Edey, as long as Zach Edey misses, Brandon Clark's gonna play mid 20s minutes. We don't know what they could have looked like. Each of those last 2 games were blowouts. So give me Brandon Clark at 44. I would expect pretty good ownership. Him and Jonathan Isaac possibly like splitting ownership at this like price range. And I'll most likely lean Brandon Clark in that scenario.
Okay. I mean, hard to argue with the minutes and everything that's going on there. So, John Isaac played 22 minutes.
That was exactly who I just said I'd play over. It's okay.
My cat is coughing up a hairball next to me, so I'm a little distracted. She's sitting on my shoe while also coughing up a hairball. So
I hope honestly, I hope it goes right in the shoe and it gets stuck and you can't get it out.
I don't really want that to happen. All right, so good on Clark over Isaac. I like that call. Anything else for you? Jabari mentioned Jabari.
Yeah, Jabari Walker. Make sure if we are gonna play Jabari Walker, him and Jarris Walker are $100 apart. You just make sure you don't click they're in the same matchup too. Make sure you click the right J Walker.
Sure.
Just to not trip you up when you're building your lineup.
3,900 Derek Jones Jr. It is Washington, so it could be a spot for him to actually have a decent game here.
He's been very good.
That's what I'm saying.
He's been very good outside the Boston game, where he wasn't even terrible. He just didn't get to play.
Yeah.
Because nobody got to play.
Struggled against Golden State, struggled against Boston. Those are 2 good teams. So
yeah, I would be perfectly fine with it for sure.
Yep. Not as like a priority play, but just a play to build some lineups up. All right, center spot here. We got Wemby at 10.8. You got AD at 10.5. You got LeBron at 10K as your top 3 here.
Wemby is great. AD also great. I have no issues getting to either of those fine gentlemen. They are quite good to very good at basketball. Wemby having an absolute nuke once again, and counting. Obviously, the game's still going on as we're recording, almost over, but like, yeah, Victor Wembanyama really good. Anthony Davis really good. Dude, I keep saying it. This might be one of those slates where like I know there's spend ups and stuff, but if Karl Anthony Towns is just continuously priced under 10K, I'm gonna start making it a rule. Like it's like the Scotty Barnes rule for me. Scotty Barnes is under 9K. There's no reason Scotty Barnes should be under 9K. There's no reason this version of Karl Anthony Towns should be under 10K. The Knicks play more minutes than everyone. They're top 5 offense in basketball. They just hung up 145 points in Denver. I mean, there might be no Lively. There might only be Gafford. And then if Gafford, who is foul happy, gets in trouble, is Dwight Powell being dusted off? And we're seeing Towns versus Dwight Powell. So at 9,500, like I love getting to Wemby or Davis. That's going to be a really fun, like individual matchup that the whole world is going to be like, oh, look at this cool matchup between these cool players. And that's great. And then there's also those players at 9,500 in the name of Karl Anthony Towns because he's been equally as good. And you could say the same about Sabonis without DeRozan. Like there is a lot to like about center. Not to forget Alperen Şengün had a 20-point triple double on the Wednesday slate, or on the Tuesday slate. So like center is completely loaded. Per dollar, I love Towns the most. But like any of those top
Could have a
names,
Bam and no Butler maybe against Charlotte.
yeah, I mean, there's just endless amounts of centers. This position is absolutely loaded. I just wish one of them just throw us a bone. Like one of them had multi-position eligibility.
Play on FanDuel. They all have multi-position eligibility. Pirtle's there at $7,800. Zubac. Duran, when you don't play him, he has big games. And you do play him, he doesn't. Figure out which day he comes, and you can win a prize.
He didn't even play minutes. He still only played 24 minutes. He just absolutely nuked.
I mean, Turner would be super interesting here.
Yes. Just like with the lack of options against him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed. He's good. Gafford, the same. If there's no Lively, Gafford would be really
so Gafford's crazy in the limited playing time that he has. Sarr, as we mentioned, had a big day. He's got dual position eligibility. Is this a Capella game? What do you think?
Could be. Also, you could look at it like, Jared Allen might get taken up. Like they could take Jared Allen off the floor, but I don't know. Could be. It always can be. There's always a chance it's a Jared Allen game.
So what else are we thinking?
Or a Clint Capella game, rather.
Yeah, Capella game. I mean, it looks like we might finally get a Wendell Carter.
Yeah, he's fully off the injury report. That was a nice update to hear. Yeah. Naz Reid had a big day on Tuesday. Messi was crazy good the other day, and he didn't even start that game. You had pointed it out where he Tice still started, but then Messi started the second half and he just nuked. So I mean, if that's something you're interested in, like they might just keep running Tice as the starter and then just go to Messi. If Portland did start Duop Breathe, then I think there would be interest because we watched Duop Breathe last year. Like he
had moments, and he's only $3,800. Now again, it's an 11-game slate. It's such a massive. There's so much talent at this position. It feels weird to bypass it all just to spend down, especially on a slate where like there isn't, those elite spend ups at other positions too, right? Like it's not like we're missing out on a Giannis or something like that here. Like the big spend ups are at center, but he could util, right? Like you could play him there.
Yes, agreed. And like if he's starting, I completely understand what you're saying, and you're spot on with like what you're saying. it would also it would be hard to like look at it and be like, I'm not going to play a $3,800 starting center because I'd rather play so and so. I'd rather play like spend it. Like you just find a way to get both of them into your lineup.
I agree. All right, let's get a lineup build going on here. Then, do we just commit to a Jabari or a Reith here?
I would not commit to Duop because we just haven't seen it yet.
Sure.
I was just throwing out the scenario that he does start. Like if he were to start, I would be more comfortable playing like Brandon Clark at 44 at power forward or something, just knowing Brandon Clark's going to start. And I mean, if he's going to play 20 something minutes, I would just say Brandon Clark is probably the move there.
I got them both in the lineup, surrounded by
Okay.
Towns. So I think Towns is just a clutch play here.
Yeah, I mean, dude, he is cheaper than the other centers, and I'm not saying he has like he doesn't obviously have like the stock upside that Wemby and Towns or Wemby and Davis do, but like
they gave Osor 16 minutes off the jump. That's pretty good.
He closed. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he closed that game too.
Yeah. All right, so I just plugged a few guys in here. We can move off Castle if you don't really care for him, but he had a good game tonight.
I'm definitely good staying there.
So Ball, Castle, Walker, Towns, Clark, 5,500 for a small forward guard and utility. Is what we're looking at here. What else do we think we want to go as a core option for us?
Let's see. Small forward. Quentin Jackson, if you wanted to, you like the minutes. Quentin Jackson's a small forward. You could play him.
The minutes have been good for him.
You could play Dillingham at guard.
Let's get Dillingham because we'll take the value at the guard spot. And now
I will say the Dillingham thing, like
contingent.
I'm not saying he won't play, but he's obviously not as appealing if we get
we need Conley
back.
We need Conley out. I would be surprised for Conley to play the day before Thanksgiving. This feels like
just give him the extended day off.
Give him the extra day. 6,500 then for a small forward and a utility here. Again, we could go if we did Scotty Barnes.
I would like that's Quentin Jackson, I think, for exactly the $1.
4,300. Isaac Jackson, so that's good. So Ball, Castle, Barnes, Walker, Towns, Dillingham, Clark, and Quentin Jackson as a example line with no dollars left over. Again, we'll be back live at 5 p.m. Eastern time. Appreciate you guys all tuning in here for today's show. Leave your comment again, your favorite Thanksgiving side in the comment section. Get any questions, DraftKings FanDuel will answer them for you. Until then, everybody, good luck, and we'll catch you later on today.